Welcome to New Europe Studios. With us today is the Prime Minister of the Faroe Islands, Mr. Kaj Leo Johanessen. Prime Minister, welcome to New Europe Studios.
Thank you very much.
I'm very glad that we have you here today with us, because just a few days ago in Athens, Fisheries Commissioner, Mrs. Damanakis, meeting with your Fisheries Minister, declared that the long dispute with between the European Union and the Faroe Islands has ended. Could you please tell us something about this?
Yeah, if you're taking the beginning of the history, we will see in the North Atlantic, where we are situated, 18 islands, Faroe Islands. We have seen the past years that the fish stocks of pelagic mackerel, herring, and so on, they have been moving much more into our area. And we have been claimed that we own a bigger part of the share. And there comes the dispute between the countries, the coastal states, who are all together and to have the fish out of this stock. And it has been a big fight from Faroe Island against EU also. And then 28th of August last year, we were imposed sanctions were imposed on our country. And these sanctions were lasting for 1 year. And now, luckily, we can say that we are out on smooth water again, and we can see a new beginning. Because when we are speaking about the Faroes economy and the Faroes export, it is totally dependent on fisheries. 99% is fish products, where we are selling all over the world. And the EU market, big market, the Russian markets are a big market, Far East, and Africa. We are very dependent on our fisheries, so it was a big blow, the EU sanctions. But now we are seeing, as we can say, that we are cleaning the sheet and try to see what
starting on a clear slate.
On a clear slate.
Yes. And so you said that fisheries are very important for fishing is very important for your country. What's the percentage, let's say, of your GDP coming from this source?
Oh, GDP is you're up to 70–80%.
So it's absolutely critical.
It's critical. When we are out on a market, then the economy is going down, because it's very fluctuating economies when you are that dependent on natural resources. And we have been fishing for the latest 100 years, both around Faroese waters in Greenland, in Canada. So historically, we have both had the biggest percentage, I think, of men in the North Atlantic, and we have also been losing the most percentage of men when compared to other countries in the sea, never coming back. So everything is maritime.
Very rough sea up in this area. Yes. I recently read an article you wrote referring exactly to this issue and to the dispute with the European Union, which luckily ended. And you were writing about an arbitration mechanism that is very good to use in the future. As you say, should we find ourselves in a similar situation in the future? Do you expect a similar situation to arise in the future between you and the European Union?
I think there will be disputes, yes. But I don't think and do not hope that it will come that far that sanctions are imposed on us. Because we are 50,000 people in the North Atlantic on 500,000 tons of fish each year. So we of course have big values, but we do not have, as the small player in this field, we don't have any pistols, we don't have any weapons, we cannot push anybody. And therefore, as a small country, we need to use the WTO, we need to use the international law of the sea to protect ourselves. And that is what we have been doing with these cases. And I think that these both cases also have been key to solve this issue with this dispute, because we are that dependent on each other, because we are exporting a lot of very good quality salmon into the European market, and we are very known to send saltfish, bacalao, to Greece, to Spain, to Italy. We have been
to many European Union countries, in bilateral arrangements.
We have doing that in a bilateral agreement with EU, actually, with the trade agreement, fishery agreement, and then now also a research agreement, Horizon 2020.
Research on fisheries, on
all different sectors. So
So the fact that so soon after, let's say, the end of this dispute, you are here visiting Brussels.
Yes.
Does this mean that there are other issues that can be promoted between the European Union and the Faroe Islands?
Absolutely. First of all, we are here to speak about how we can formalize in a better and proper manner, how to formalize our cooperation in the future. And we are often saying that we are not Greenland as an OCT agreement, and we are not the EFTA countries, and that means that the EU have approximately 120 different contracts with with different countries. So where are we fitting in, and to formalize our cooperation in the future? And that is what we are analyzing for the moment in the Faroe Islands. So we will have negotiations with the EU to help the connection even tighter, and that's crucial for our economy.
So besides fisheries, what else can the Faroe Islands bring to the EU in a relationship with the EU?
Just now we are just in some weeks we will be a member of the Horizon 2020. That's as a research program, and we will be a part of that, and of course be to give what we have of knowledge into that program. And the knowledge in Faroe Islands is very good on the oceanographic, in the sea currents and so on. I think we are one of the best nations in salmon farming. If you're asking the Americans, we are delivering a lot of very good quality salmon into the American market and into the EU market because of the quality. We are not medicining. We are not using medicine when we are harvesting or having salmon farming. So our products are on a very top level.
So I understand that you might be exporting not only the product itself, but the know-how.
Know-how we are producing, know-how also in the times of all the equipment who is around the maritime fishery sector, fish gear, all these things. We are working a lot to do that. Yeah.
On the part of the population, let's say, of the Faroe Islands, which is not very big,
no.
How is the European Union viewed in your country? And would there be an interest in your country for a closer relationship with the European Union, even joining perhaps someday the European Union?
We have been having big discussions in the Faroe Islands, and I think there's this fishery policy. When fishery is everything, and I think the people are the EU fishery policy decided in Brussels. I think that people are a little reluctant on that. So we are in a situation like similar to Andorra, San Marino, or Monaco, small countries actually, but we are not that close to a membership of the EU. No, we are in the Danish kingdom.
Yes.
Denmark, Greenland, Faroe Island also, and that means that if you're going in, then you're a part of Denmark. Otherwise, you will be a sovereign state first, and then you could be a member. So it is a long road actually.
Now that you mention this, quite a distance on the south of you, in Scotland, yes. This week they will have a referendum
yes.
about independence from the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
Are there any thoughts like that in the Faroe Islands vis-à-vis Denmark?
Yes, it has been big disputes. We had this home rule agreement from 1948. There was a referendum just 2 years before that, and there are national parties in Faroe Islands. So there is also a struggle, just like you see it in Scotland. And there are the same arguments used by both parties, both the no side and the yes side, economical and so on, social welfare, pensions and so on. It's the same discussion actually. And the Scottish are saying that they are maybe too small to be a sovereign state. So, of course, we are that smaller, much yes. smaller. But what the future will bring, nobody knows. But for the time being, I think we have a very good relationship in the Danish kingdom, together with Greenland and Denmark for the moment.
And here, in your visits in Brussels, what is the impression you get from in the way that the European Union, I'm not speaking about individual member states, I'm speaking about the European Union itself, is viewing your country?
It is. I think it's from different points of view. I think the EU people understand very much that we are that dependent, as I have been mentioning several times, of fish, and they see that we have a good relations. And there's one country in the kingdom, Denmark, who is a member of the EU. That means we have you know, a part inside the walls and a part outside the walls. So we are an integrated part of EU, of Europe. And personally, I like that the borders are away, so we are not fighting each other. We are investing instead, so the weapons are not able to move freely, yeah? Yes. And like the money are moving instead.
Since you are way up in the north, close to the Arctic, you know that there is a new drive lately for developing hydrocarbons in the Arctic. Could your country have any say or any influence in this direction?
Yes, we are in the Arctic Council together with Denmark and Greenland. So we are a player now, and of course we have been signing a search and rescue agreement in Nuuk in Greenland 2010 together with Mr. Lavrov from Russia and Hillary Clinton were also on this meeting. So we are in the family, as we may say, and we can see in Faroe Islands that there's a big boom in our tourist industry, and we are experiencing. Next year, there will be 70 of these big cruise ships with tourists who are coming to Faroe Island, and of course that we are seeing that now that it's a blow in the tourist industry. But on the other hand, we need to take much care of the environment. So no of these big ships are going on land or polluting, because fish is everything. So there's a double, you know, there's a threat. And there's an opportunity.
There's an opportunity.
Yeah?
So they need to be balanced.
Yes, they need to be balanced on a very correct manner, actually. And the path, when you're taking the northeast route, then the ship's route is just directly on Faroe Island, where the bigger ships are coming down to Europe. So we are, of course, strategically placed just in the middle of the sail path of these ships.
All these issues that we are discussing now, have they been discussed with the European Union institutions?
Of course, we have our representative here, a Faroe representative here, and of course there are discussions of in all matters, and of course also when it's coming to the Arctic area. So EU are trying also to come in, just like China and South Korea, because it is a very strategic point, all the things about the Arctic area.
Exactly, that's exactly what I'm asking.
Yes, and it's also regulated. People may be intended to think that the Arctic area is not regulated by anything, but everything is very well regulated in international law and so on. And actually there are living of 5-6 million people there who have their daily livelihood.
5 or 6 million?
Yes, they have their daily livelihood. So it is a fight between the countries, you know, to have influence in this area, because we think that they are hiding a lot of minerals and on all these things, and and now that the technology allows us to reach this go deeper and deeper, just like we are experiencing in Faroe Island with the gas and oil industry. We are also drilling for oil and gas in Faroe Island these days, and one of the world's biggest oil riches platforms is in a fjord in Faroe Island today. So actually we are also into the oil and gas industry with approximately 1,500 Faroese men who are working on this oil and gas platforms.
And the prospects are for this to expand? Or
very much.
So this is very important for the European Union, I imagine, since, as you know very well, especially nowadays, we have a big discussion about differentiating the sources of energy.
Yes. And energy is...
Is this part of your discussion? Energy, I mean? It is.
Yes, it is. Because we are that dependent on fossils. We are that dependent as an economy on oil. One fourth, 25 to 30% of our import is oil. That means that we are heavily now investing. We have the water dams, water, electricity, and now we are doing a big investment program in windmills. So it's a very suitable area, Faroe Island, for windmills.
There's a lot of wind.
We have a lot of wind in Faroe Island. So they are producing actually energy. When the wind is coming up to 34 meters per second, they are still producing wind energy. And this is a German Enercon from Germany who have been delivering them. And they are saying that one windmill who are placed in Faroe Island is the one windmill between 22,000 of the windmills around the world. They have online. They are online and connected with all this if there are technical issues. And this one in the Faroe Islands is giving the best output.
The best production of...
best production because of the strengthening of the wind all the time. Huh? So it's very interesting figures that we are seeing.
Are there any plans on your part to make the Faroe Islands more known to Europeans?
Yes.
Even to attract tourism, to attract investment, to attract...
Yes, and that's why we have the Faroese representative here also, who is doing a good job to promote the Faroe Islands, both in terms of context, but also to see 18 islands totally unpolluted, with very fresh air. When you're coming out of the airplane and the airfield, there are so many tourists who have been saying that the first breath they are taking, they are breathing the clean North Atlantic air. So it's very clean environment. So it's a good place to visit, actually. Yeah.
Well, it sounds very interesting to me.
It is interesting.
And with this note, Prime Minister, thank you very much for being with us. Hope sometimes we will visit this cold, windy, as you said, but very interesting islands. Thank you very much. Thank you for being with us at New Europe Studios in Place Jourdan.